Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me ranking Red Velvet eras. I will be ranking them based on 5 categories: longevity, styling, choreography, performances, and popularity. I'll probably get crucified for this by Revelovs, but Revelovs on Stan Twitter already hate me, so who cares anymore. And I'm not putting a disclaimer here because y'all should know what you're getting into and have enough brains to exit the video if you find that I piss you off too much. Anyways, let's get into the video. This was their worst era. The girls received a lot of hate this era, which not only ruined the mood, but it seemed to be affecting the girls, specifically Yeri and Irene. This song did not age well and I don't listen to it, and I never hear anyone talk about it unless it's to address how shitty this era was. The styling wasn't nearly as bad as people made it out to be, but at the same time it was nothing special. But it did get weird sometimes. There would be performances where they would perform Power Up and Bad Boy back to back, and there was little to no effort being put in by the stylists to create appropriate outfits for that transition. As for choreography, this has to be my least favorite choreo they've ever had. The choreography was so awkward, it didn't flow properly and it just wasn't enjoyable to watch. The performances were okay. They were nothing groundbreaking, but they were cute to watch. And as for popularity, this was their most popular Korean comeback, so it was by no means a flop. But overall they've had way better comebacks, and despite this being their most popular domestically, it was unmemorable and lackluster. This would have been so much better as a B-side. I honestly forget that it's a title track sometimes. It's a good song, but I felt like Cool Hot Sweet Love should have been the title track, and then One of These Nights the B-side they promoted with it. The styling was bad, but at the same time one of the reasons that I ranked One of These Nights so low is because there is no real theme to this comeback. I've watched the MV several times. I've watched the stages even more, and it's clear that there's no theme to this comeback. So I'll cut the stylists some slack this time, considering that there wasn't a specific aesthetic for them to go off of. Now on to the biggest thing that irks me about this era. There was no need for this comeback to have choreography. It was honestly distracting from the song and it just looked weird. They could have just stood there and it would have been fine. I already kind of talked about performances with the choreo, so I'll move on to popularity. This comeback wasn't extremely successful. They did get a decent amount of wins, and I know the members were really happy that it was received well because they thought they'd get no wins with a ballad. I'll always have respect for Happiness because it was their debut, and I will admit that I still bop to Happiness to this day. It's such a cute and catchy song and I feel like one of the only people that likes it. But the styling this era was horrible. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't make sense for them to be looking super expensive this era, but I felt like the styling for this era could have been so simple and cute, and yet they still managed to give them some weird ass outfits. As for choreography, I like the choreo for this era. The choreo wasn't anything special, but it was cute and memorable. The performances for this era were good. Once again, nothing groundbreaking to report. And as for popularity, this song didn't do too well internationally or domestically. Overall, I feel like the only reason I like this era is because it was their debut. But in comparison to their other comebacks, there's a lot better. This is also another song that I'll always like because it marked an important time in Red Velvet's career, but I never listen to Ice Cream Cake anymore, and I feel like the only reason it's talked about is because of Yeri. As for the styling, this was one of my favorite eras for styling. Don't get me wrong, the outfits were nothing special, but what I loved about it was that there was consistency. There was an obvious look that their stylists were going for, and there were no bad outfits. We need their stylists to bring back this styling. The choreo for this era was cute. It was nothing too amazing, but it was cute and memorable. But I'm still mad at the fact that they were forced to remove the floor choreography during Irene's rap. The performances were good and all of the members looked so happy and cheerful. And Yeri looked absolutely precious. As for popularity, this wasn't their most successful era, but they did get their first win, and let's be honest, every idol and their mother was doing the choreo on variety shows. I'm gonna get murdered for this, but it must be said, as a song, Peekaboo wasn't that good. It was okay, but it really wasn't all that. But I will say that this era is iconic among Revelovs, and I think the reason why everyone loved this era is because of the styling, and the styling was amazing. That stage with the rainbow outfits, rainbow dress, Joy, I'm Still in Love with You. The styling this era was absolutely god tier. They looked so expensive and sexy and there were no bad outfits. Honestly, one of the best eras for styling. The choreography for this era was sort of underwhelming. I felt like there was so much potential for something complex and impressive, but we just didn't get that. The performances were once again okay. Nothing super groundbreaking, but I liked watching them because they looked hot. And this comeback was kind of a flop in Korea, but The Perfect Velvet was one of their most successful albums, so it cancels out the fact that Peekaboo only got 2 wins. We all know at this point Red Flavor is Korea's national anthem. This song is so timeless. It's not anywhere close to being my favorite Red Velvet song, but I still bop to it every single time I hear it. The styling for this era was honestly a hit or miss. The styling was pretty generic, which wasn't a problem, but they either got cute outfits or outfits they could barely move in, like Irene in that green dress. The choreography is so memorable, and this was another one of their comebacks that everyone and their mother was dancing to on variety shows. The performances were once again good. They were enjoyable to watch but nothing amazing. I personally loved the You Better Know performances a lot more. I don't know why, but I just do. And this was obviously a very successful comeback. And legend has it Red Flavor is still charting to this day. As a song, Rookie is truly a hit or miss. Sometimes I love Rookie, and then other days I'm a Rookie and tie. I understand why a lot of people dislike this song, because it's just that kind of song that you have to be in the mood for. But even still, this is one of their most iconic songs, and you can't have Red Velvet without Rookie. The styling for this era was pretty good. There were a couple of bad outfits, but overall there were more cute ones than there were ugly ones, and I really liked the outfits they wore. The choreo, in my opinion, is one of their best. It really shows how synchronized Red Velvet are. The performances were great. Seulrene, queen of stage presence. Just watching performances of Rookie gets me hype. As for popularity, this was their second most popular Korean comeback despite international fans not liking it. Yeah, I'm surprised too. At first I didn't like this song, but after a few more listens I was Umpah Umpahing all over the place. I can't really speak for the longevity, since it's only been like a month. But the styling for this era was a lot better than their past ones. But I still had a problem with the fact that the outfits didn't really match the concept. Either way, they looked cute, and the choreography this era was so much better as well. Catch me dancing to this song in my dorm room at 3 a.m. I loved all the performances of Umpah Umpah. They all looked so cheerful, especially Joy. This was her era and her era only. And as for popularity, Umpah Umpah did pretty well domestically. They got a music show all kill, and it was their second album to reach #1 on iTunes. Absolutely legendary of them. If you couldn't tell already, I'm a Zimzalabim stan. I love this song so much. And once again, I can't really speak for longevity because it's only been a couple of months. I've already made a whole video on this. But the styling for Zimzalabim was absolutely atrocious. By far their worst era for styling. And a lot of people got mad at me for saying that, because apparently Zimzalabim is supposed to be a quote-unquote quirky concept. Like, wow, I couldn't tell. You can have a quirky concept without having god-awful outfits. Just look at Rookie. My statement stands. The choreography was meh. It wasn't anything special. I'll cut the choreographer some slack considering this was definitely a harder song to choreograph. The performances were all really great. No one can say Red Velvet lacks stage presence after this comeback because they were all killing it. And despite the fact that Stan Twitter hates this song, Zimzalabim was a successful era and they got their first #1 album on iTunes because of it. Everyone hates Zimzalabim, but she's sitting pretty at the top of the charts, so who really won? Everyone hates this era, but I personally love it. A lot of people might disagree with me, but I love this song and I listen to it probably every day. The styling this era was once again a hit or miss. There were no stages where everyone got a good outfit. It was either 2 or 3 members got good outfits, and then 1 or 2 members were dealt bad outfits. And I don't care what y'all say, the choreography this era was everything. I'm obsessed with it. It's definitely one of their best choreos in my opinion. The performances were good. I loved all of their first week performances. They were the best out of all of them in my opinion. But despite the fact that I love this era, I have to acknowledge that RBB is the ugly sister in terms of popularity. The way RBB flopped was honestly embarrassing for them and Revelovs, and we need to make sure that they never have to experience anything like that ever again. This era was everything. I am a dum-dum supremacist through and through. Legend has it if you repeat the words dum-dum 5 times fast, red velvet will appear in your room. This song is iconic and honestly one of their bests. The styling for this era was kind of messy, but honestly I don't even care because of how great of an era this was. The choreography was everything, and whoever was Red Velvet's choreographer at the time needs to be rehired. All of their performances are so enjoyable and they're some of my favorite to watch. And Dum Dum wasn't wildly popular, but she did well for a rookie group and we love that for her. Last but not least, because I couldn't choose between the two, these are their best Red and Velvet title tracks and I will engage in hand-to-hand combat with anyone who disagrees. Russian Roulette and Bad Boy are such timeless bangers. As for styling, Russian Roulette was another hit or miss era. Either they got cute outfits or plain ones. And the styling for Bad Boy was fucking amazing. I don't understand how the same stylist who styled them for Bad Boy is the same one who styled them for Zimzalabim. All of their outfits were amazing and no one got bad outfits. Honestly, my favorite era for styling tied with Peekaboo. The choreography for Russian Roulette was okay. There was nothing amazing about it, but it was cute and matched the concept well. And I'm sad to say that the choreo for Bad Boy is one of their worst. Their choreo had started tanking after Peekaboo, and Red Velvet received a lot of criticism this era for being quote-unquote lazy dancers, and I firmly believe it was because of the choreo. It was so awkward, and there were a lot of moments the choreo made it look like the members were just waiting around for their part. Red Velvet are such great dancers, but the choreo this era really worked against them. The performances for Russian Roulette were okay. Nothing too special but definitely entertaining to watch. As for Bad Boy, they got a lot of criticism this era for their lack of stage presence. And despite the fact that I'm literally the biggest Ravelov, I kind of agree with it. I don't know if it was just the concept, or if there was something happening behind the scenes that we didn't know about, but these weren't the most interesting performances. But ever since Bad Boy, their stage presence has only improved and they are all really expressive on stage now. Red Velvet queens of stage presence. As for popularity, Russian Roulette was pretty successful domestically and internationally, and Bad Boy, as we all know, was their most successful international comeback. And despite both of their weaknesses, the pros outweigh the cons by a lot. Both of these comebacks were amazing in their own different ways. They both deserve Grammys. So that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you didn't, don't be a bitch in the comments. I love you guys and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.